This is WIXY1260 Online.
Another hour of music power.
All right, well. Here we are at the WIXY1260 Online Studios. I'm Ricky B with The Outsiders. My partner right next to me, Rick W. I don't know, we're using last names today?
Apparently not.
Okay. Hey, we're going to play some songs for you by our good friends that we have encountered along the way and even currently. And we hope that they're tuned in as well. And for right now, I'm going to have my partner Rick say a few words. Take over, bud.
Uh-oh, the pressure's on. Yeah, well, we've there's a couple concerts that we played. We also played with these guys. They're great guys. Their song, actually, one of the reasons I picked this song was because it was one of the first songs that told me when I was young that I wanted to learn how to not only be in a rock band, but I wanted to learn how to play organ. So it's a song by The Circle, and I think you'll recognize it when you hear it. That's a great song. Ricky, you had something you wanted to say about the next song, didn't you?
When I was first playing in bar bands as a teenager, we were able to do that. Some of you might remember 3-2 beer and lounges being open until 2 a.m. during the week.
I think that's before my time, by the way.
It is. But this song was, I'm almost positive, recorded by a fellow from Cleveland, and he called himself the Fantastic Johnny C. And it's just one of my favorites, and it always was. And it sounds very local, but here's the Fantastic Johnny C. He's going to boogaloo down Broadway. All right. We're going to turn things back over to Big Rick, standing right here to my right. It's his selection for the next song. Go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, little Rick, sitting there to my left. So anyhow, when we talked about doing this, I thought about some of the influence songs that I wanted to play just because they were influential to me. One of the first songs that I remember hearing harmonica on, which is one of the songs that drove me to learn harmonica, was Love Me Do by the Beatles. And I'm going to try it. I'm hoping I'm playing it in the same key as John Lennon. We're going to leave my mic on, and I'm going to play with John. This is great. I've never played with the Beatles before, but I'm going to jam with the Beatles while this song's playing.
All right. The Beatles, always a favorite. We enjoyed that. So we're here in the WIXY1260 Online Studios. Rick and Ricky here with you, and Scooter actually covering us so we don't make a lot of mistakes.
He's saving our bacon.
He is. He absolutely is. So now, real quick, if I could tell a story about the next song. The next song, get that? We were sent a cassette tape of this next song that was written by a fellow that probably shopped it around to every record label in the country. Our management decided that it was a song worthy enough to record, but not quite worthy enough or promising enough to be released as a single record. This song was this song was recorded for the Outsiders' third LP, the third album called In. And it was really a short version. It was less than 2 minutes long. But about a year later, after the Outsiders' third album In was released, another group took this very same song and added their own unique twist to it, their own orchestration to it, and lo and behold, it was an enormously huge, successful hit for them, and they were the American Breed. But right now, I'd like to play our re-recorded version, the original version, of Bend Me, Shape Me by the Outsiders on our new CD, The Outsiders, It's Time. Here's Bend Me, Shape Me, the original version.
Ricky, I don't think that was Bend Me, Shape Me. Stop me if I'm wrong.
It was not. In fact, forgive me, I don't even like that song. Sorry, David Cassidy and the Partridge Family, but not my call there. We had a glitch.
We had a glitch. But we're going to fix that glitch now.
We are. So once again, off the
I'm going to
Outsiders.
press the button.
Yeah. Once again, off the Outsiders'
Ready?
third album, the original version with a very nice guitar solo by our friend Michael Abraham. In fact, before we do that, let me mention, please.
Oh, yeah. There's other guys in the band.
They are. Rick Willier right next to me, keyboards, flute, guitar, and harmonica. Michael Abraham, lead guitar with the Outsiders.
Michael!
James Aschenbenner, rhythm
Jimmy!
guitar and vocals with the Outsiders. Greg DiPaolo,
Greg.
bass guitar with the Outsiders. And I play little drums on this next song. Here's the Outsiders version of Bend Me, Shape Me.
And that's what we call the end of the record. That was just a stop. We just stopped. It didn't fade out or anything. I don't know how we came up with that, Ricky, but we did.
Very clever of us.
Next song is a song that was very influential to me growing up as a young keyboardist. Everybody who was anybody who played organ or wanted to play organ or thought about playing organ played some version of this, some better than others. One of the great songs of all time. Hey, Ricky?
I'm still here.
You know, I kind of knew that. So we should be wearing masks.
We should.
We should. Oh, no. Scooter, we should all be wearing masks. Oh, no. Well, no. I don't know. Could I wear a mask and still talk?
We could
Bring
sound
me
like-
my mask, Lois.
We could sound like this.
Zois.
Here's the next song that we're gonna do. It was a phone-in, but
Here's the next
Zois is
song.
bringing me my masks. Thank you, Zois. Thank you.
Greg
Can you hear
DiPaolo
me?
called in, the bass player with the Outsiders.
Can you hear me
and
now?
He requested a particular song. I'm questioning that request. But, okay, Greg, since you took the time to phone in, I was going to say we're not going to play any Chuck Berry today. But, special request for Greg DiPaolo.
Our bass player.
I don't know why he asked for School Days. Been a while since he's been in school. Here's Chuck Berry. All right, Chuck. Greg, that was for you. Still questioning that choice. We'd like to say a very happy birthday to our friend Mickey Young. We're hoping to see you again very soon. This next song
Happy birthday
is
to
just
you.
it's fun. It's a good song. Baby, now that I've found you, the foundations.
Oh, it's on. Hi. That's one of those things that's kind of embarrassing and you never want to repeat. Right, Ricky?
As absolutely, huh?
I wish I knew what key this next song was in. I'm going to find out because I'm sitting here with the guitar and I'm going to play along to it off mic, of course. But this is just one of those songs that I grew up with and I just love. I mean, there's no other reason for it other than I just love this song.
All right, Romeo and Juliet, the Reflections.
It's in the key of E flat, by the way.
Key of D flat. This next song we would like to send out to some of our friends in New Jersey. New Jersey, Frank, Mick, Glenn, Keith, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Their big hit record, gold record, I believe. I hope you're listening, fellas. Indian Giver.
And then another song by another group of guys that we've had the distinct pleasure and honor of performing with. Sending out a special hello to Burton and Jim from the Music Explosion. Great song, great song. You know, Ricky, you were making comments about my shirt. I know you were. I actually was looking for a camouflage shirt, but I couldn't find one.
Yeah. How about this? A friend of mine, Buddy Hackett, told me never be a name dropper. But anyway, enough of that silliness. Some friends of ours from in Ohio down around Maslin Way. Dean and Dale, I hope you're able to tune in today. Former members of the Ohio Express.
Founding members.
Founding members.
Yes.
Former members.
And founding.
Yes.
They were 2 Fs.
Here is Down at Lulu's.
And one thing that I forgot to mention, Burton's wife is recovering from surgery. Burton from the Music Explosion. Burton, we hope you guys are doing great down there.
Yes, we do, Burton.
And I also wanted to just take 1 second and say hi to Pat and Sandy McLaughlin, who I know are listening. Thank you, Sandy, for sending us all this information, because we'd be absolutely lost without you.
Yes, we would.
Am I talking next? Oh, the next song. That's mine. See,
how about this next song?
We're dividing up the duties here. So this next song, the lead guitarist, I actually got a chance to stand up next to him as close as I am to you right now, without a mask.
You didn't.
I watched him play the lead part on this, and this is what told me that I wanted to learn to play guitar differently than the way that I had learned to play it by then. I think I don't know, it was 12 or 13 or something, and I heard this guy. And after they were done with their set, he came down off stage, and his fingers were bleeding. He was the first person that I had seen that played electric guitar with his fingers and not with a pick. I didn't choose to emulate that part of what he did because I value my fingers. However, this song was a tremendous influence on me. I remember going to the May Company at Cedar Center and seeing this band, the Blues Magoos, playing in Cedar Center cafeteria. They used to bring acts in, and you could just walk in, walk down, and they were name acts, and they were just there. And if you walked in and if you listened to them, great. And if you didn't, you didn't. These places were not sold out. They weren't even selling tickets. And again, I had a chance to see these guys up front and personal. And it's the Blues Magoos. You ain't seen nothing yet. And by then, I hadn't heard nothing yet. Classic, just classic.
All right. I like this next song. For some reason, it wasn't a very big hit, but I like it. So, since we have the opportunity, we're playing it. The Music Machine says, talk, here's my situation. Talk, stand. Talk.
So, my younger brother, Danny, insisted that I give him a shout out and say hi, Danny. He lives in Missouri. So, hi, Danny. And because I was raised with sibling rivalry, I'm going to say hello to my older brother, Steve. Hi, Steve. I'm here and you're not. Oh, I didn't say that. In any event, there's a few people out there who like that. Whew. So, my younger brother once, he was always annoying me with bird puns, but I decided two can play that game. Get it? Two can play that game? You're not laughing, Zois. In any event, this next song is a song by somebody who's just legendary in this neck of the woods. The big influence on me. I know the man, he's a great guy. I know the guys in his band. One of the bigger thrills that I've had recently is when I was learning to play a little bit more advanced, I took this song out and I spent hours with it, learning the lead. And then when I played with Danny Powers, who played the lead part in this song, I played it for him, and he corrected one or two things, and now I can play it exactly like Danny Powers played it, which is, good enough for me. This is a song by Michael Stanley, the Michael Stanley Band. It's called My Town, one of my favorites.
All right, what a good song.
Great song.
This is
it's in the
My
key of
Town.
D.
So Rick and Ricky here in the WIXY1260 online studios. Try not to talk too much. The idea is to play music on this station, and that's what we're going to do next. The song following, I really don't know how to really describe it. I found it on the internet because I had remembered vaguely at a young age buying this 45 record, and now it's currently referred to as a song in the category called Northern Soul. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's not British invasion music. It's not flower power music. It's not Southern rock. So some people have compiled a list of the top 500 Northern Soul songs. I just like it. Here's Mickey Lee Lane with a nonsense title. It's called Hey Salo Nay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is WIXY1260 Online with Tony Z and the Chicken Man House Party.
Another hour of music power.
Well, welcome to WIXY1260 Online. I'm Tony Z, and, we've got our guest DJs here, Ricky B and Rick, and I think they want to talk about this next song that they're going to play here. So, guys, have at it.
We do. Thanks, Tony.
You got it.
Am I on? Thanks, Tony.
I'm on.
Who else?
And
Next to it. To the left.
To the left.
Right there.
Okay, there you
that
go.
could be me.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear me now?
Was there dead air?
Can you hear him now?
No, oh, we got it.
First, I would be remiss in my DJ duties, much of a rookie as I am. We want to say a very special hello to the outsiders, insiders that are not all here tonight. Terry, Stacy, Kathy,
Ruth. And Zois is out there.
and Zois. And my wife Lois is here encouraging me. But they're behind us all the way, and we couldn't be more pleased that they support everything that we do.
And we call them the insiders.
We do call them the insiders. In fact, if any of you have, here's a plug, if any of you have purchased the Outsiders' new CD, there's a small picture of the insiders on the back. You can see what
What do you
the
mean
outside... Small.
That's as big as ours.
You can see what the outsiders...
It's
old
bigger
ladies
than
look like.
ours.
But
Lois, you must have had something to do with the packaging. That's all I can say.
here-
Sorry.
Yeah. This next song, again, the bare bones version and lyrics written by our rhythm guitar player, Jimmy Aschenbenner. We took that song and at a rehearsal together, we all added our individual parts and made major contributions to the song itself from the original version, which was just guitar and vocal. So here is the Outsiders song, our latest single release from our album. It's called You and Me. Yes, sir.
I was waiting for the organ to be done. You don't start this. You don't start talking over the organ and the drum fill at the very end.
Boom.
Boom. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention, as Jimmy sent us an email, a text telling us not to forget this stuff, because of course we did forget it. We have a website. That may be hard to believe, but we as the Outsiders band have a website, and the website address is it The Outsiders or just Outsiders? It's thank you. TheOutsidersUSALive.com, or if you prefer, TheOutsidersUSALive.com. I'm not sure if it's live or live. That can be a controversy that people can talk about for the next 50 years, if they so choose. However, because we are here and because we can do this, we're going to give away a copy of our CD, which means that I can't have a Happy Meal this week, probably. But for the 5,000th caller, I'm just kidding. How about to the 10th caller? The phone number here is 216-744-WIXY. And if you want that in numbers, it's 216-744-9499. So the 10th caller will get a free copy of, what's the name of the album? What do we call it?
It's alive.
It's alive.
It's time.
It's
not It's Alive, it's time.
It's time, that's right, okay. And this next song is not from that CD. Actually, this next song, I learned the story about this, and it was very upsetting to me. This next song is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, and I understand that it actually hit the airwaves after he had already died. He never got a chance to hear what a success that his record was. So with that cheerful beginning, here is just a classic. Sit along, sing along, close your eyes, you can kind of smell the bird poop.
Sitting in the morning sun.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. I did it.
All right.
I'm a technological genius.
He is.
Am I talking?
Yes, you're up.
All right. Next song is something that's a little bit more current. I actually have the distinct pleasure of, now don't call me a prostitute, please, but I actually play with more than one musical act. I have the fortune to be playing with Jonah Coslin, and I've played with him in Breathless and Jonah Coslin and the Gentlemen Rockers, and a couple other versions of bands that we've played in, and we actually go back to high school together. And we played in a band in high school, and I'm pretty sure the name of the band was Picasso. I think that was it. Bob Benjamin was on bass, and Mike Solagi was the drummer. Jonah, obviously, guitar, and I played keyboards and guitar. And I would be remiss if I did not list as one of my influences Jonah Coslin, and his song, that was a breakout song for Breathless.
All right, Breathless.
And I made one mistake I have to correct. It's not Mike Solagi, it's Steve Solagi who is the drummer. Back in Picasso, back in high school days. Sorry, Ricky, it's all yours.
Okay, got it. I don't want to, again, talk too much because this is a music station, but if I could say briefly, this next song was recorded after the Outsiders, as we know them, had parted ways. The band decided to relocate to California, to Los Angeles. Shortly after moving to California, I came back home. I just decided that California lifestyle did not suit me at all. So my friend Sonny stayed on. He found some very, very excellent players and met up with some former Cleveland musicians, particularly Walt Nims, who wrote this song, and it was recorded by Sonny Geraci, who had since changed the name from the Outsiders to Climax. So here's my friend, my good friend, Michael Abraham, singing the 2020 version of the Climax hit, Precious and Few. Yeah, my friend Michael Abraham singing his heart out. Yeah, he does. We we have an announcement for the winner of the Outsiders CD. It's time. Unfortunately, we only had 9 callers call in, so we had to give it to, we were going to give it to the 10th caller. We didn't get 10 calls, so we're going to give it to Cindy in Wellington. You got a CD coming. We will take care of that. And
we'll even pay the postage.
That's right. That's right. It's not like a collect call used to be.
A what?
A collect call.
What? So.
Go ahead, cuz. Take over.
Thank you. So, how can you talk about influences, which is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about songs that I brought, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. I guess I misunderstood the homework assignment. I'm sorry. But influences, I mean, this guy is just an influence in terms of how he writes, in terms of how he plays. He is not a great harmonica player. He's not a great guitarist. He's certainly not a great singer. He's tremendously distinctive. You'll know who it is as soon as you hear it. And I'm convinced that tremendous talent is disguised in many, many different ways. And this person is probably the poet laureate of America from the 1960s to the present.
Completely opposite musical tastes. And that's true. Here's a song I mentioned earlier, Northern Soul, which kind of a vague term, but this next song was recorded by Al Wilson, who more familiarly. Come on. I'm used. Al Wilson did Show and Tell. You might remember that. Well, here's a song by Al Wilson called You Knew Darn Well I Was a Snake Before You Brought Me In. Here's the snake.
WIXY1260 online. More music, more memories, more often. This is Tony Z. It is the Friday Night Chicken Man House Party, and I'm going to turn it over to Ricky and Rick. They're doing their thing here this evening, entertaining you. I'm just an innocent bystander. Guys, take it away.
Well, if people really knew how innocent you were. So that was a Manfred Mann song. That was my pick. Ricky and I are kind of switching off songs, and I think he's right. I think our musical influences and tastes have they haven't coalesced yet. Coalesced, yes. Never mind. You know, sometimes when we practice, after rehearsal, we'll all go upstairs, and there's usually some kind of food that we can all eat, and there's always some kind of noodles or something. So, Ricky, I have a question. What do you call a fake pasta?
Fake?
Fake pasta.
What do you call a fake pasta? I don't know. What do you?
An impasta.
Oh! He went to college, folks. That's what you get. This next song is our version of a lively little number. We decided to put it on the It's Time CD. I mentioned Jimmy Ashenbenner earlier. Our friend Jimmy Rhythm Guitar for the Outsiders has the lead vocal on this. Here Comes My Baby.
And when we do that live, I usually point over to Mike Abraham when I'm done playing the flute, and Michael Abraham will go on and give us a solo. So this next song is that what? Okay, it's a song that Greg sings. Greg DePaula, the bass player and singer and sometimes comedian. Although he's a lot funnier to himself than he is to anybody else. And I just have to say that. And you know why I can say that, Greg? Because I'm here and you're not. And one of these days, it's going to be reversed, and I'm going to be really sorry. But right this moment, So Jimmy Ashenbenner, Greg DePaulo, Michael Abraham, Rick Biagiola, I murdered your name, and me, Rick Williger, we formed the Outsiders, and we did this song. And this song is something that we did. So we're going to play it, and Greg sang it. Greg, I'm just waiting to see how you're going to pay me back. That's all I'm going to say. But that's Greg's vocal there and bass part, and I'm going to shut up now.
That was great. Greg, make sure you use that hand sanitizer.
Lois was wondering, by the way, Greg, Lois was wondering if you fell asleep because you didn't text us. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
It's all up to you.
You ran out of minutes on your phone. That had to be it.
I'm bad.
I promised myself when we started performing as the Outsiders again that I would, at every performance and every chance I had, to make sure that I mentioned my friend, the leader, the founder, the songwriter for the Outsiders. With respect, Tom King founded the Outsiders, wrote the songs, and was the leader. He's no longer with us, I'm sorry to say, but if any friends of Tom's are still around, please keep them in your thoughts. When I got the call from Tom, I don't want to make this all about me, but when I got the call from Tom, I was a senior in high school, and the record, Time Won't Let Me, had really started to cause a stir on AM radio. And the drummer in the Starfires, my friend Ronnie Harkeye, received his draft notice and had to prepare to leave for the military. He mentioned my name to Tom King as a replacement for Ronnie. And Tom called me and said, we are going out on tour. I don't have a drummer. He said, Ronnie told me to call you to ask if you were interested. So here I am, 17 years old, 2 months left to finish the 12th grade. And he said, oh, by the way, we're leaving in 3 days and we'll be gone for 6 weeks. So now I had really a choice to make. And I do have to thank my mother. Rest in peace. She gave me the advice to take a chance. So I committed to the Outsiders, and 3 days later landed in Virginia Beach, Virginia for the first show of a 6-week tour with Gene Pitney, Bobby Goldsboro, Chad and Jeremy, the McCoys, B.J. Thomas. I'm sure I'm leaving some people out. We had 30 of us, and it was a Greyhound bus tour. So I spent the next 6 weeks hanging out with my mouth open and my eyes wide, listening to these people who I had so much respect for. This next fella from Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure, was a big influence, and we had a lot of fun together. He was quite a clown, but this is Len Barry doing You Can't Sit Down with the Dovells.
Hey, pretty baby.
So this next song is, by the way, do you know what they call people who are afraid of Santa? They're claustrophobics. In any event, the next song, before we...
He went to college, folks.
Before we... I used to be in a band back in high school. I was the youngest member of the band called the Harlequin Color. And we were actually a pretty popular band. We played at all the hullabaloos, and if you're old enough to remember Cleveland, you're old enough to remember all the different hullabaloos. And Menor Hullabaloo, Chesterland Hullabaloo, you name it Hullabaloo. They were all over the place. We played the teen fairs. We played all over the place. And we were playing one hullabaloo, and it was either Menor or Chesterland. I don't remember which. And I was, 13 or 14 at the time, and I owned a Farfisa organ and a Wurlitzer piano and a Bassman amp, and that was my equipment. And those were my pride and joy. Zois, I'm going to slap you. So she was making faces at me. So Zoe, your wife was. So in any event, so we were playing at the Hullabaloo, and I had no idea this was going to happen. But during one of the breaks, our manager came in and said, Bob Seger's here with his band, and they're doing a tour of Northeast Ohio, and they're going to play during our break. I said, yeah, it's fine with me. Ramblin' Gamblin' Man was just coming out. It was a huge hit. And, you know, who didn't like Bob Seger back then? So in any event, they said, well, he's going to use your equipment. And I had paid for this equipment all by myself. I had a paper route, and it took me a long time to save up for this Farfisa organ and Wurlitzer piano and Bassman amplifier. And I said, no, I'm sorry, you can't. And Bob Seger's manager came in the dressing room, and he said, you know, I don't want to have to bring in the Hammond organ. I said, I'm sorry, I really don't want anyone playing my equipment. So Bob Seger comes in to the dressing room, and he says, you know, man, I really don't want to take my stuff in. Would you mind if I promise to take good care of it? Would you mind? And I said, okay, but please take really good care of it. So they do their little set on our break. We go back up on stage afterwards to play ours. A Coca-Cola product was spilled in my Wurlitzer electric piano. I couldn't use the Wurlitzer electric piano ever again. I actually had to get rid of it. It short-circuited. And Bob, if you're listening, you owe me a Wurlitzer.
Yeah, come on, Bob. All right. Thanks, Bob. We are going to shortly sign off and turn things back over to Tony Z, the real professional here. But I'm going to make sort of a vague announcement. So any of you out there that might be interested, July 5th, I believe it's a Sunday night, we have a surprise for you all that might be tuning into the station that night. I'm not going to say much more than that, but it is going to involve live music and records. And I'm pretty sure that we will all still be live then. So stay tuned for the ads and promotions coming from WIXY1260Onine. We are the outsiders, and you may hear us. But the next song kind of pertains to this afternoon. Song by the Kinks, Sunny Afternoon.
I was just waiting to see how long it would go before it was done. A lot of times you talk over the outros, but sometimes I just want to wait and see what's actually going to happen. I know dead space is something that you try and avoid, so I will try not to give any dead space. This next song is a song when I was younger, and you were a guy who wasn't in love with Linda Ronstadt. Okay, if you were you in love with Linda Ronstadt?
Oh yeah.
Out there, were you in love with everybody? Everybody was in love with Linda Ronstadt.
Not me. Sophie Loren.
Sophia Loren?
Sophie Loren.
Sophia Loren?
That's right.
Oh, well, for me it was Linda Ronstadt. What can I tell you? I mean, not only was she beautiful, but nobody before her has sung like that, and nobody since her has sung the same way. She could sing a torch song, she could sing rock, she could sing just about anything you wanted, and unfortunately she can't sing anymore. I saw a special on her, and she's doing okay except for the fact that she can't sing that well right now. But in her heyday and up until fairly recently, she was just absolutely dynamite. This was actually not the first song I heard of hers. The first song that I remember hearing from her was Stone Ponies, Different Drum. and I think that her backup band went on to become members of the Eagles. And that's not this song, by the way. This song is just one of the other songs of hers that just slayed me back in the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is WIXY1260 Online with Tony Z and the Chicken Man House Party.
Another hour of music.
And it has been a fabulous Friday night Chicken Man House Party, having a couple of the members of Cleveland's own Outsiders. We have Rick Williger and Ricky Biagiola. Guys, what a fun time to have you guys here in the studio. And just kind of turning it over to you. Take it away, guys.
Well, thank you. It's been great to be here, and thanks for saving our asses more than once.
Can you say asses on internet radio?
I don't.
We are not FCC regulated, so yeah. You
mean I've been clean this whole time for no reason?
Well.
Well, we did want to thank WIXY for not only playing our songs, but for having us here and just being great all-around people. I'm going to shut up now. This is Rick Williger. I'm signing off. I'm turning it over to Ricky Biagiola.
And I'm going to do the same. We want to say thank you all for tuning in. And we have one more song, classic rock song, that we're going to exit by. But for all my American friends of Italian descent, grazie a tutti, buonasera. Here's Blue Cheer.